Fred
Whoop,
there.
whoop, whoop, whoop. Relationship show, watch out.
Coming at you. Now you get to experience the man behind the scenes. If you are a new subscriber from the show and
Yes.
haven't met me yet.
Yes, this is Joe. He probably made you cry, or I made you cry when I spoke about him on the show. Aww. So this episode, if you are over Say Yes to the Dress and me talking about it, then just wait for the next one. But this is for all our new subscribers. Everyone wants to know all about how filming the show was and how I felt watching it. And so I'm here to answer the main questions. Woo woo. So the number one question I've been getting is first of all, what I thought of it overall. And I thought they edited it great. I mean, it's only, 30 minutes?
And you stole the show, girl.
Thanks, babe. But yeah, I thought it was great. Of course, I wish there was more in it. And there were some moments where I was like, oh yeah, well, they're editing that to kind of give one side of the story. But overall, I was so happy and I loved it. It made me cry. I didn't think watching myself would make me cry, but it did. And for all of you that think I'm just, the most self-absorbed person, then that's just feeding into that. So whatever.
Brother.
I know. What did you think of it when you were watching?
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to, not to address the haters, but even for the people who loved you, to get a better picture. It'd be nice to have seen what you do for a living and see the well-rounded picture of you, so you're not just this extreme personality. But I get it.
Yeah.
It's better TV. They only have so much time.
Yeah, they can't go into my whole life story.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was good.
That's what they
They
want.
could have definitely spun it in a very bad way.
Oh, for sure. I was panicked that they were just going to take little bits and pieces of what I was saying and turn it into, something crazy. I've never been on reality TV before, so I didn't know what to expect. But I'm glad you liked it.
I can't believe how much feedback you've gotten from Instagram, Facebook, everything.
Yeah, me too. It blows my mind, and I'm so grateful. And the majority of them have been positive.
Yeah.
So that blows my mind. And to everyone who's been, sending me all these messages saying that I'm an inspiration, shit, I'm just this drunk girl who's just, trying to get by every day. And I guess that's what people want to be. No, but yeah, I mean, the number one thing I probably look repetitive on my Facebook or my Instagram, but when people are like, I wish I had your confidence, I wish I had your body to wear that, I just think you can wear that, first of all, no matter what the fuck you look like. No one, everyone's gonna shit on you no matter what, so why even care? Just wear what makes you happy and own it. And second of all, my confidence isn't perfect. I've had to work hard day in and day out to get my confidence to this level and stop giving a fuck.
Yeah, it did pain me to see all these girls that were saying, oh, I wish I had this confidence. Because as a guy, I relate to that because I'm not I am around the right people. I'm a super confident guy.
Joe, you have to break into him.
Yeah,
break
I'm
him
very
in.
much oh, jeez.
Sorry. Go on, sorry.
I'm very much a chameleon. I'll match the energy of the room. So if it's not a super peppy room, I'm just going to be a fly on the wall. I like to observe. And I just got to get comfortable. And there's always things that I wish I was more confident and didn't give a shit about other people's opinions on. But you're good at that. I'm trying to work on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw those. I was like, I know how they feel. And it's funny because I look at that and I'm like, oh my God, don't feel that way. You should think better. But it's like I'm talking to myself there.
Of course, your worst enemy is honestly the little voice in your brain that's like, don't do that. What are people going to say? But after a while, I kind of just got sick of listening to that person. And I was like, I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. So I'm just going to go have a good time and do my best to try and make people laugh. And that's really all I want in life, is to bring people joy, which you'd think would make me want to do this podcast more. But, it's interesting because one of my elementary school teachers found me on Facebook and messaged me this week and said, I remember you being so shy, and it's so refreshing to see you being such a confident woman. And I was like, yeah, exactly. I wasn't always this way. I didn't come out of the womb like, titties. No, I was very shy. I was very worried about what people thought of me. And then I just got sick of it and was like, what am I doing? Why am I caring so much? Like, I just want to be happy. And now I just choose happiness as much as I can. It doesn't mean that what people are saying about me, especially these past 2 weeks, hasn't affected me. Of course they have. The people who were like saying that I, don't deserve to live, and, some of the things they said were a lot and it wasn't what I was expecting, but I just keep brushing it off. I don't know. Even you saw my mom on the show. She says, the heck with them.
Yeah, that's what I liked about the way they painted your picture, is because I've always known, and this was my hope for the outcome coming out of all this, was whenever we meet new people, especially other girls, they never know what to think of Alexis when they first, like the initial, what you saw unfold on Instagram and Facebook is exactly what happens when I go out with Alexis with new groups of people. The girls particularly don't know how to feel about her at first, and then it can go one of two ways. Sometimes it's just not your cup of tea, that's fine, you're not going to impress everyone. But then the other girls, the more positive ones, tend to realize like, oh, I actually kind of like this. And then they like it because her putting herself out there makes all the other girls feel comfortable so that they can be themselves more. And that's what I was hoping it would show here.
Yeah. It also backfires because I think sometimes this is like a weird thing about me is like I will always just put all of me out there that all of a sudden people just want to tell me all their secrets. And I'm like, oh. Ooh, that's a lot to take in. I don't know. I feel like I meet people and they just like dump on me because they feel like it's like
It's not a bad thing, though.
No, it's not bad, but I'm just kind of like, oh my God, are you sure you want to I just met you 5 minutes ago, honey. I'm one of those girls in the bathroom that gives you a hair tie and then I invite it to your wedding.
Yeah.
But I overall thought it was really positive and I loved it, and I did watch it a couple more times. Don't judge me, okay? Just to make sure I wasn't like drunk the first night. But another big question I was getting is what I think should have been added or what wasn't shown. And for me, the biggest thing was that I really wanted a dress. I'm not really going to show my nipples and my vagina and like my butthole on my wedding day.
Yeah.
I just wanted it's sheer illusion is what it is. You see Beyonce, J-Lo, Rihanna, Bella Hadid, they all wear that kind of like dress that's like
faux nude.
Yeah, it's basically like you're just covered in crystals or covered in flowers that cover just what needs to be covered with like a bodysuit underneath. I'm not literally out there like flapping my labia in the wind.
I might be, but...
You might be.
Yeah.
But I that's not what I want. And so a lot of people were messaging me, and a lot of them weren't trying to be rude. They're just like, oh, if you want to be naked, like just wear body paint. And I'm like, well, that's really different from what I was going for.
They're taking it too literally of you wanting to be nude.
And they're like, you go join, the mean people are of course like, go join a nudist colony, you sick fuck. It's like... I
mean, I expected that, because that's the title TLC was going to go with, which is fine.
I knew that.
Against that.
And like I mentioned, I was okay with them, calling me a whore, calling me a slut, like, it's fine, whatever. I knew that was coming, but it's just, I wish they had shown more, like I kept saying, runway models wear the dresses sheer all the time, and then they put the lining in later in the store to sell it. So if a runway model can wear it, why can't I? Yeah, I don't have the body of a runway model, but who gives a fuck if I want to wear it that way?
There you go, preach.
Preach. I really also would have loved if they showed more of my mother.
I know, very underrated co-star in that episode.
No, but everyone still noticed her.
The
they noticed her as a star. A lot of messages were about my mom.
Oh, really?
What they didn't see was my mom was literally running around the store making these like hand motions going pubis, pubis, pubis.
Oh,
because she was, and then she also, after I said I don't need to show my labia, she said, what's a labia?
Oh,
and she had no idea that, because she's from the Philippines, that's not something she was learned, so we had to be like, your vagina lip. She was like, oh, labia.
Oh my
and she was so excited to learn a new word. Another thing is she was they were like, how come you guys are so comfortable talking about like vaginas? And she was like, well, it's Filipino culture. You talk about penises. And she was teaching like the camera crew how to speak Tagalog, like all the dirty words. She was like, this is how you say penis. This is how you say boobs. This is how you say vagina. We say it all the time. And they of course they couldn't show everything.
Yeah, we both have Filipino, and both our Filipino sides are very,
you just talk about that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say it's indicative of the Filipino culture,
No,
but definitely
our
ours
two
are
families.
very lax. We're very much like a live and let live. If you're not hurting anyone, who cares? Like, be you. Stop worrying about everything.
Yeah, your family will check in and be like, well, did you poop today? Like, was there corn in it? Like, weird stuff like that. Like, they just, they're all just don't care. There's no filter. We all don't have a filter, that's for sure. Another thing with my mom is that they were asking, how did you guys get so out there and like open? And what I was talking about with my mom was how she's a breast cancer survivor, and that's the kind of the reason. Like, she used to be very strict on me as a child, and it was rough. And then all of a sudden she had cancer, and when she survived cancer, she was kind of just like, who fucking cares? That's why I'm that way too. It's like I said, I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. I could get cancer. No one knows. So why not just live today?
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't show that. Maybe.
Yeah, they probably have gone like cancer before.
True,
they probably were like, oh, we've played that card.
But the way I see it is, going back to that, no matter what, I would just like to reemphasize this. Even if no matter what, someone's going to make a judgment about you, and no matter what, some people are going to like you and some people aren't going to like you. So if that's the case and you can't control that, all you can control is how you behave. So do you want to spend your life trying to please everyone and still have them not like you, in which case you're going to be so unhappy with yourself because now you just spent all this effort and people still hate you for someone that's not even you? Or would you rather just be yourself and get the people you want close to you close, because it'll be like-minded people and you'll have way more fun and be way more fulfilled?
Yep. And the other thing with that I mentioned a lot on the show was I've been heavier, I've been skinnier, and both times I was unhappy. And so that's when I realized, oh shit, the problem is me. Like, it's my mindset.
Yeah.
And so I just had to be like, okay, enjoy it now, because when you've probably had that moment when I look back sometimes at pictures of myself at like 19 and 20, and I was like, damn, I look so good. But I remember being 19 or 20 feeling like, I'm the fucking ugliest person in the world. All these sorority girls look better than me. I'm just a fat cunt. And like, I was so mean to myself and I hated it. But now I look and I think, oh my God, why didn't I just run through the fields naked? I look so good. So that's what I'm trying to live now is, okay, imagine myself at 80 years old. I'm going to look back at me now and be like, oh yeah, look how fucking high her tits are hanging. Woo!
Me too. I'm going to say, oh, look at his
So
titties.
I better enjoy this as if and hopefully I hope I'm still loving myself at 80, but I'm going to be like, oh yeah, 30 years old. Look at that fine bitch. So I'm just living it now. I'm telling myself as if I'm 70.
I always found it funny when in the comments people would ask, what's your fiancé gonna think?
Oh my God.
The part I don't get about that is, how long are they thinking we know each other? Like, that would be pretty bad on my end if we got as far as the wedding for me to just realize now, oh, she's this outgoing? I don't like this. It should be assumed that was already talked about and discussed. Like, it's not like I have no idea what's going on in her life. So that was funny. And then people always ask, oh, what did you think overall of her like being that way? Because a lot of people are like, my husband or I wouldn't be like this, whatever. That's fine. Like I said, we've been together a long time. My whole thing is, I want you to be, I never want to impede you from being yourself. Because what happens is the moment you try to say, hey, can you be a little less outgoing? Can you be a little more of this, a little bit of that? That resentment's going to build. It's not going to build up in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. It's going to build up in 15, 20 years. You're going to have kids. And then you're going to hit that lull that everyone says just happens when you've been together for a long time, where you're like, I just feel like we're different people. No, it's because you've been suppressing each other for all those years.
That's what really bothers me, is that I feel like a lot of people in their early on relationship, they're so worried about like, well, I need to make him marry me, so I'm going to be this other person that he wants.
There's people who who've gone like 10 years without even farting in front of each other.
We could do a whole episode on that.
If you can't even fart in front of your significant other, I take away your right to comment on anything she did on that episode or anything anyone does on TV, because it's a basic function of human life. Jesus Christ, if you can't fart in front of your significant other, I don't care if it's disgusting or not. It's not a matter of, I'm just going to keep farting out in front of her. It's, if one slips, who gives a shit?
Yeah, like the fact that people can't even stand that person or the person farts, like just the thought of them farting is like, no. Like, I don't know. But at the same time, I don't want to shit on other people like they're shitting on me, because it's not my lifestyle, and that's okay. That's what I wish more people would have commented. Like, okay, that's not what I would wear, but like, good for her for like doing.
And some did that, which I appreciate.
Good for her for doing what she
They did preface
wants.
it and say, if that's what she wants, fine. Just not my opinion. That's totally fine.
That's like how the world should be. Like, I'm not living for you. I don't know the fuck you are. So, whatever. The other thing, is everyone thought that I was doing this just to have my podcast on there.
Which is funny because, full disclosure right now, if you haven't known already, it's not like when she got asked to come on the show, they were like, do you have a podcast? Do you want us to pitch it? You think TLC gives a shit about promoting someone else's I was surprised they even asked about it. That was all done after the fact. She went on the show because she wanted to be on the show.
Yeah.
Them asking her was just a total left field thing, which I'm completely grateful for, because it was able to reach more people, and hopefully there's now more of you listening and will further listen. But it was not part of anything.
No. And for those who haven't listened before, you'll see when there's like large gaps we're not recording, it's because I don't want to, because this is his whole project. This is his happiness. I do this for him. He promised me that I could just show up and have wine and talk. I wouldn't have to edit. I wouldn't have to do anything. Like, this is all him. To be honest, I don't listen to podcasts at all. I really don't even listen to our own.
Care. I just bring her on so we have the dynamic.
He likes my polarizing.
Yeah.
He likes how I am.
But also the whole concept of the Relationship show, if you've read our tagline or everything, whatever, it's supposed to be we're a real couple that's discussing topics that other people are too afraid to talk about.
Like
whether
farting.
It's farting, or go back to some of our earlier episodes, who pays on the first date, all these topics that
who makes more money.
are so stupid, but people are worried about who makes more money. That blows me away, where people that exists where guys hate it when the woman makes more than them, and people go, is it okay if Alexis made more money than you? That's, you better be careful. I don't give a shit. That means we're both making money. I'd love to make money. So if she's bringing in $1 billion and I'm bringing in $20, as long as I'm not being a lazy piece of shit and I'm doing the best I can, good for us. A win for her is a win for me. That's the way I see it.
We're a team. I mean, it just blows my mind that people don't understand that concept. But also, the other thing is they didn't show my cousins a lot, which is fine, which I understood, because I think they were asking questions like, has Alexis always been loving attention? And they would just say things like, well, she just brightens up a room wherever she goes. And I think, they love that dynamic of...
Right. Well, they want what's going to be fun to watch. And that just was... Where your cousins would have worked more is you guys work good in a group setting where you get to express yourselves. That's where they would have gotten a lot of good footage of just you, your mom, the cousins, because all the girls in that family just thrive off of just
we just support each other.
Not so much kind of static facing a camera.
It's our dynamic.
Yeah.
They really wanted my mom to say things about I think they wanted to see someone kind of against my beliefs, but my mom and my cousins, the people I brought, they 100% support all of me and unconditionally, because those are the kinds of people I surround myself with. I don't want to surround myself with someone who's against me all the time. I need people that put me in my place. Joe's told me when I've been reckless or too drunk, or I'm not perfect. I fuck up all the time. So it's good I have that, but at the end of the day, Joe is 100% supporting me and just trying to make me a better person, and isn't gonna fucking shit talk me all day.
Yeah.
So they couldn't get that out of them, which is great. But I wish they had showed because of course they flew all the way to New York to be on TV.
Right.
The other thing, so the podcast, also I didn't get paid to be on the show,
right.
Which is, everyone thinks I got paid, that my dress was free. No, none of that.
She flew we live in California, so it's not like we live on the East Coast. We can just drive up there like probably most of the other brides, which makes going on the show a lot easier. She paid her own way, her own hotel, everything, just to be on the show.
Hotel, we all flew. Yeah, like I said on the show, I watched it since I was in high school, binge watching it with my dad. And it's my dream to be on the show. You know, I used miles. I made it work because it was going to be for the experience. We made a girls' weekend out of it. Nothing. They don't pay for anything, which is fine because I understand. Think about the thousands and thousands of women that apply all the time to be on the show who have the same dream. And you know, I knew this was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I took it. And I said, okay, I'll pay for it to happen. And I'm blessed in that way, and I'm forever grateful. And like that I was able to do it. So no money, you know, I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing this for fame. I'm just kind of living, you guys. My mom has made this dream. The other thing is the wedding did not happen yet. That's why they didn't show the dress, because it hasn't happened. So, you know, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Hopefully in January, maybe not. Maybe in 2023. Nobody knows. Nobody freaking knows with COVID. The other thing is, what do I regret from the show? And the number one thing I regret is in the beginning when we're looking at the dresses when we walk in. I think I was a little nervous, but I kind of snapped at my mom.
I don't even remember that, so I don't think it was that big a deal.
No, but I know it. You know what it is?
All of us do that with our parents. We all have that default to our kid setting.
I know. She was like, why do you want to do that? And I went, it's fine. It's going to cover my butt. It's fine.
No, I think it was fine.
No, I know, but I'm being vulnerable here. That's really what bothered me. Watching that, I cringe and go, ugh. And also, people were saying like that I said Yas Queen was offensive, but I don't know. Is it offensive to gay people? Is it offensive to black people?
People just want to know.
I don't know.
Every little
and
thing.
I was trying to find out what it. I want to know. Like if I said something offensive.
People are always going to have an opinion. For every person who said she was too voluptuous, too naked, too this, too far out, I could go find another episode of TLC on Facebook where it was the complete opposite, and they said, "Oh, this woman lets her husband control too much of what she wears. She's being too conservative. She should learn to love her body more." So
I know.
Whatever.
I'm just saying, like, I'm open to changing my vernacular and how I speak if it is offending someone. Like, I don't know everything about everything. So someone tell me. Don't just say, "Ew, why would she say that?" And not be like, well, okay, well, how do I fix this? I don't know. The other thing is my job. Yes, I have a job. It's not the podcast. People think this is my job. Make this my job. My God,
yes,
that sounds great.
That would be nice.
But no, it's not. I'm actually an operations manager at a tech company. And I have my shit together, guys. I mean, we own our house. Like, I was going to pay for my dress myself. So
she's the boss.
I'm paying for it myself. So I told my mom not to pay for any of my dress, any of the anything. So I'm good. Like, I'm a very different. I know the boundaries. I mean, they're not always perfect, but I know my boundaries. At work, I don't act like how I am at home. I'm there to work. I'm not there to like rage, you know. But if like my coworkers want to go party, then they'll see a little bit of the at home Alexis. You know what I mean?
And like after 5 p.m. Alexis.
And they're like, "Did you lose your job?" No, I didn't lose my job. Both my bosses, my superiors, I don't know what to call them. All my bosses watched and they thought it was great and they applauded me and they know who I am, and I don't hide that at work, but I'm not like, "Hey, let's have our Zoom call and show our titties." Like, no, like I'm not a fucking idiot.
She knows when to turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah. You know, and especially like, oh, I'm going to meet someone's parents. I'm not like, "Hey, daddy." No, I'm not like meeting.
That's why I go, "Hey, daddy."
Like, parents love me.
That's right.
Your family loves me, right?
Yeah, other comments were saying, "Oh, what's the fiance's mom gonna think?" No one on my side cares. They all thought the episode was great. They loved it. They love her. There's no weird thing people are trying to build up in their heads.
Yeah, and I wouldn't marry into a family that wasn't going to accept me. Like family's more important to me than anything.
All the comments people brought up are stuff you should be sussing out way earlier on into a relationship. And not right when she's trying on dresses.
Yeah, like, I'm not hiding this from anyone. Everyone just gets the real me all the time, like I said on the show. So that's what it is. And I mean, Oh, one last thing. Sorry, I'm just reading my list. See, I'm not a professional, guys. I have to literally read the list off my phone. So clearly, I'm not getting my whole entire salary from this. But the last thing was, I wish they had shown the reactions from other people and my reactions to the people in the store. So, of course, they showed all the people being like, "Oh my God, look at her dress," which there were people saying things like that and looking at me like, but then there was also the majority of the people who were saying, "Oh my God, you look so amazing." All the other consultants, they were loving what I was wearing. And what they didn't show was I cried so much that day. You don't even know the amount of love that is in Kleinfeld. Kleinfeld is a blessing. Literally, you walk in and you see all of these women having that dream moment, which I know and it's not fake. You're gonna say it's fake. No, but
no. If you want to see her cry, she loves to cry. We joke that her face was made for crying. If you go even just to our Instagram page, I turned it in just a series of videos of her crying, watching The Bachelor, watching Love Is Blind, watching Little Mermaid. It doesn't even matter. HGTV.
I just love, and I love experiencing things throughout. Like, I'm very empathetic, and when I saw all the other brides saying yes to the dress and their whole family cheering and their mom and dad crying, like, it's so perfect.
Oh.
I know, it's so nice. It's just so nice to see people, like, that's like a moment they're gonna remember till they die, and I'm in the same room while that's happening. Like, wow, like, that's really an honor. And in Kleinfeld, I could not work there. It would be
just like crying all over the dresses.
They were just you hear people going yes, and everyone cheering, and it's like we would be in interviews, and I'd be like, we have to stop, because I could hear them saying, "Yay, yes to the dress," and I was crying. And then when I met Panina, that was my biggest crying moment, because I wasn't expecting her to be there, and obviously I've watched her since I was in high school, and I always thought, fuck yeah, look at her making these sexy dresses. I want to wear a ball gown. I want to look sexy on my wedding day. And when I got to meet her, I kept saying, like, you're the Oprah of wedding dresses. Holy shit. And what was interesting is she told a story of how when she first started that she was rejected from a bunch of stores because she was... they said she was too sexy. Her dresses were way too sexy. And she just didn't give up, and Kleinfeld took a chance on her, and now she's like one of the top wedding dress designers in the world. So that was something I really wish they showed, because it would have helped push my story. Like, sexiness doesn't fucking matter. Like,
do whatever your preference is.
Yeah. I wore a freaking turtleneck and long sleeves to filming, and I felt so sexy. I also felt sexy in the naked dress. Oh, speaking of, the very sheer naked dress where everyone goes, "Oh, you look so uncomfortable and self-conscious." I was feeling self-conscious because they weren't sure if they could show it on TV. They were like, "Oh, we don't know if we're gonna have to blur you out, da-da-da." So that's why I said, "Oh, can I even walk outside like this?" And I was like, "Oh no, like, am I breaking rules of some sort? I don't want to get in trouble." Like, I know my boundaries. Like, I don't want to go out and, like, break rules and offend people. I just want to, be me, as much as I can. And I don't know. Anyway, so that's why I was feeling kind of, like, weird in that dress. Plus, it kind of just looked like a grandma's doily. Very sheer grandma doily. And it just wasn't me. So... anyways, this was the longest episode I think we filmed.
I've never heard her talk so much for a podcast.
Oh, was it a lot? I just had a lot to say, and
people want to know, so get it all out.
I know, and I'm like shooketh right now because this is the first time I've worn makeup through quarantine, so I'm just kind of feeling myself.
Wow. And it wasn't for the podcast.
It wasn't.
It was for work.
It was for work, you guys. My job outside of the podcast, I had to record something with a little promotional, like, commercial thing for work. And surprisingly, my bosses are still okay with me representing the company, even after I was naked on TV. So guys, All you need is some.
Dreams do come true.
They come true with open communication, honesty, realness. It's fine. And if they didn't want me to be the face of the company, I would have respected that and understood, because people are fucking trying to kill me and shit. So, do I really want my company to be associated with a naked lady right now? Maybe not, but you know, bad press is still press, right? What do they say? What's the phrase? No such thing as bad press or something? I don't know. Unless you're Kanye, but who knows? He's probably still making money. Anyways, any other thoughts, Joe? I'm talked out.
No. I wanted you to get it out, and I'm glad you did. So, if you guys have any questions,
any more, let us know.
Message us on Instagram, subscribe, review us on iTunes. Get the word out there. Let us know what you thought of this episode.
Yeah, so then I can quit my job and do this full time. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it sounds like a nightmare. But the other thing, and I want to hold Joe to it because he's hesitant to do it, is our next episode, we're going to do something you might be familiar with. It's called Truth or Drink, where we each get a set of hard questions like, have you ever wanted to break up with me? And he has the choice to tell the truth to all of us or to drink a shot. And I have been dying to do this game between us since we've started the podcast, and he's like, I don't know about that, da-da-da. Mostly I think because you don't want to drink, or is that?
We'll see. Guess we'll have to see next episode.
Yeah, so I'm putting it out there so that he has to do it. Love you.
Love you too. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time.